Have the off-takers or the buyers looked that way? Have we been able to sell the stock?
Yeah, on the issue of government's decision to cut the farm gate price, Alfred, let me begin by first of all, acknowledging the reality that cocoa farmers face. And I want to assure that the welfare of the Ghanaian cocoa farmer remains at the center stage of every decision we make. And Alfred, we need to mention this. It is worth noting that the foresight shown by His Excellency, the President Mahama, in taking the bold and unprecedented step of reducing Ghana's farm gate price, it was a difficult decision, but it was one of the most critical measures needed, to address decades-old structural challenges of the sector and also to fix Cocoa Board's financial challenges and reset the industry in the best interests of the farmers and the nation. The finance minister and the president's decisive action that restored market confidence, enabling us as CMC to sell additional stock and generate liquidity that is critical to start paying the license buying companies. This is leadership with courage and conviction, Alfred.
I see, but then again, we are faced with a challenge now. Côte d'Ivoire has reduced their prices, okay? And that means that, there is that clear incentive and the policy direction to also get the buyers to look their way. But now the Ghanaian farmer, if the mid-crop change in price is implemented, will be any more than the Côte d'Ivoire farmer. But then again, what challenges does this pose from where you sit, from the buyer perspective, and then also the possibility of smuggling, as we've seen? Quickly.
Look, Côte d'Ivoire's decision to reduce its farm gate price to 1,200 CFA per kilogram, for the remainder of the season, that has created a price differential of approximately about 1,100 cedis per bag in favor of Ghana. And Alfred, though this reflects the strength of Ghana's commitment to its farmers, it also creates an incentive for cross-border smuggling of cocoa into Ghana. Now, the risks are twofold. The first one is an influx of unverified beans, which threatens the quality premium that Ghana's cocoa commands on the global stage. And secondly, financing unplanned purchases, that also puts some pressure on the liquidity required to sustain Cocoa Board's operations against a production target of 650,000 metric tons as forecasted for the 25-26 season. Now, both countries are actively collaborating to, protect our borders. There are ongoing bilateral discussions, and Alfred, there are sanctions that would apply to anyone found engaging in cocoa smuggling.
Okay. Dr. Dogbey, thank you very much for joining us and for this quick intervention and then also some clarity to the issues that were put out. Thank you for joining us.
Alfred, I would want to give a quick outlook for the next crop, if you have a minute for it.
Quick one, quickly.
All right, we're working hard on getting out of the woods in terms of current challenges. The cocoa industry is finding its footing, at current price levels, and buyers are beginning to re-engage after an extended period of demand destruction, that is driven by historically high prices. Now, it is very important to understand that the current oversupply situation is not about overproduction. It is about suppressed demand. And here's what I mean. At the peak of the price spike somewhere in 2024, the chocolate manufacturers, they responded by reformulating their recipes and turning to cocoa butter alternatives, using what we call CBS for short. However, consumer feedback has been very clear that chocolates made with CBS simply do not taste like rich chocolate. So that consumer preference is the strongest guarantee for cocoa's future. Now, as prices stabilize at commercially viable levels, we fully expect demand to recover. But because of the liquidity challenges that we face in this season, I don't expect that farmers will have enough left to reinvest in their farms. So production may not necessarily go up next season, but demand is expected to see an uptick. Look, cocoa will remain an essential and irreplaceable ingredient in manufacturing chocolates and the like. And so the expectation or the outlook, for the next season is one of cautious optimism, and CMC and Cocoa Board, we are positioning Ghana's sales program accordingly.
Dr. Wisdom Dogbey, thank you for joining us with this intervention and this clarity. He's a managing director of the CMC.